Hello everyone, before we get into the main list of games here, let me just outline a few things for you real quick. These are only confirmed PS5 games so far. I know there's a lot of titles where we can easily assume we're getting a PS5 version, but unless it's been confirmed by the publisher or developer, it's not in this list. We do have to draw a line somewhere, so let's not have a massive gray area and go with the facts. Also, many of these games are multi-platform, of course, but because of the PlayStation focus, we're only labeling them as PS5, or if there's a PS4 version, that will be labeled appropriately in this video. Also, there's something to be said about Sony's mandate. If you're submitting a game as a developer to Sony after July 13th, they're actually mandating that you support PlayStation 5 for that particular game. This creates another massive gray area, and we're actually doing a separate video on that entirely, so that also isn't really being accounted for. But otherwise, this is every single game so far confirmed for PlayStation 5, either on its own or as a later version that we'll expect down the road. This game is an open-world procedurally generated survival game, and not much else is really known beyond the small footage that we have. The next entry in the popular Assassin's Creed franchise is set in 873 AD, visiting an alternate history timeline for the Viking invasion of Britain. The protagonist can be male or female, and the map size will be slightly larger than that of Odyssey's. Much like the Playroom and Playroom VR, ASTRO'S Playroom would be a free game pre-installed in every PS5. This game will feature platforming levels made to showcase all the new features of the DualSense controller. EA has confirmed the next entry in the Battlefield franchise will be targeting new innovation that will be enabled by next-generation platforms. The game is slated for 2021. Oddly enough, Bugsnax is a first-person adventure. You play as a journalist who visits Snacktooth Island to meet the inhabitants. You'll eat stuff, feed stuff, and solve stuff in the mysterious world of Bugsnax. Recently confirmed not that long ago, the free-to-play Battle Royale Call of Duty will have a next-generation version available. Chivalry 2 is a multiplayer FPS inspired by medieval movie battles. There is melee, ranged combat, and horseback riding. The game will feature crossplay among all available platforms. Chorus is an upcoming combat space shooter that focuses on two playable characters. You'll be entering a dark universe with mystery and conflict, exploring multiple locations and getting into crazy dogfights.
Let her ascension serve as proof of our righteousness. It is in her honor that we strive for Chorus.
Control has recently been confirmed for next-generation consoles. You play as Jesse, the new director of the Federal Bureau of Control, where you try to contain and push back the supernatural forces called the Hiss. Described as an indie love letter to RPGs, Chris Tales is a turn-based RPG with beautiful 2D hand-drawn animations. CD Projekt Red's next highly anticipated game will offer next-generation versions. At launch, there will be a PS5 optimized version with a more enhanced, proper version coming later. The game will also be a free upgrade if you buy it on PS4. This old-school arcade-style shmup was developed by a 3-person team and won an Epic Mega Grant. One of the developers is a former Pixar artist, which explains just how good this game looks. You're an assassin stuck in a time loop. You must take out 8 targets to end this loop using acrobatics and parkour to get around. There is a multiplayer option where someone else can control a target to try and stop you. Demon's Souls from PS3 has been completely remade from the ground up by Bluepoint Games and Japan Studio. Now on PS5, the remake will utilize beautiful shadow effects, ray tracing, and offer 2 modes, one for graphical fidelity or frame rate. Destiny 2 has been confirmed for PlayStation 5, with all purchased content or your discs from PS4 being upgradable to PS5 for free. The game will run at 60 frames per second. Destruction All-Stars is best described as a mix of Fortnite and Twisted Metal. In this multiplayer mayhem, your goal is to wreck as many cars as possible. Dirt 5 will be the 8th game in the Dirt franchise, and this title will be available on current and next-generation platforms. Focusing on off-road racing, Dirt 5 will have a new career mode where you face off against a rival driver, while also having a mentor. While there's no release date or release window, DBZ's Universe 2 has been confirmed for next-generation versions. Dustborn is a third-person, narrative-driven experience where you're on a road trip of adventure. There will be love, friendships, and even robots. This open-world zombie apocalypse is the follow-up to the popular 2015 entry. The map will be 4 times larger and feature different factions and settlements that you'll encounter. Cooperative multiplayer will be available once again. FIFA 21 will be on current and next gen with a free upgrade to PS5 if you buy it on PS4. Flea Madness is a multiplayer melee game where you play as a flea. In-game, you'll be eating prey you encounter, which may enhance your abilities or penalize you depending on what you eat. A game that needs no introduction, Fortnite Battle Royale is confirmed to be available at launch on next-generation platforms, with the game being moved to Unreal Engine 5 by mid-2021. From Shinji Mikami and Tango Works, Ghostwire Tokyo focuses on the beloved city being overrun by supernatural entities. With 99% of the population wiped, it's a lonely adventure and fight against these powerful forces. The first publicly revealed and acknowledged PlayStation 5 game is Godfall, an action RPG with looting mechanics. Developed by Counterplay Games and published by Gearbox, Godfall is said to be developed with next-gen specifically in mind, being only available on PS5 and PC. There will be 3 player classes to choose from and cooperative multiplayer support. This is a storybook-esque adventure game about a forgotten hero trying to save the Greek gods. You'll be fighting mythological creatures throughout your journey until you face Typhon, the deadliest monster in Greek mythology. Little else is known about the game and its working title.
They turn to you.
Goodbye Volcano High follows a group of young dinosaurs on their senior year of high school. With the end near, this group has very little time for the pursuit of love and leaving their mark on the world.
Might as well jump.
A remake of the original 2001 release, Gothic will be coming to PlayStation 5. The game is an action RPG where you're an unnamed prisoner in a medieval setting, and there's a big emphasis on interacting with the environment, like hunting, playing instruments, or even urinating. Gran Turismo 7 will be coming to PS5 and utilize 3D audio and haptic feedback for a more immersive experience. You can hear cars coming up from behind and feel the resistance of the road with the DualSense. Grand Theft Auto 5 will be coming to PlayStation 5 in 2021, expanded and enhanced. If you're a PS Plus member, you'll be able to download GTA Online and play for free for 3 months. Agent 47 is back, traveling around the world to exotic locations, taking out your targets. You can use disguises, create accidents, or interact with NPCs to blend in with the crowd.
You find yourself alone.
Aloy is back in this exciting sequel where she'll travel west across America, encountering new machines and mysterious threats unexplained by the current understandings of society.
If I falter, if I fail, there won't be anyone left to stop what's coming.
In Sound Mind is a first-person psychological horror game with puzzles, boss fights, and an original score by The Living Tombstone. This cinematic adventure will lead you into space on an interstellar trip to discover the source of a mysterious transmission. Kenna is a story-driven action-adventure platformer. This beautiful and colorful-looking game has you on a spiritual journey of self-discovery. Her companions, known as the Rot, will aid you in this adventure of puzzles and mystery. Originally a Kickstarter game, Little Devil Inside has reappeared at the PS5 reveal event. In this stylish world, you'll face bears, dragons, and harsh environments. Lo-Fi is uniquely our only confirmed next-generation PSVR game. Sony hasn't told us anything about their next headset, but this Kickstarter-backed game is promising a next-gen version as a stretch goal. It's a cyberpunk-esque shooter. Madden 21 will be on time this year and available on current-gen and next-generation consoles with a free upgrade to PS5 if you purchase on PS4. Marvel's Avengers will be a free upgrade to PS5 if you purchase the game on PS4 and will be available at launch. The game has many visual enhancements on PS5 that will offer modes to favor resolution or frame rate.
Good isn't the thing you are.
First-person shooter meets rhythm in this game, with vocal performances from Matt Healy, Michael Stan, Bjorn Strid, Alyssa Glitz, and more. In this game, you are a janitor who has been shrunken down to the size of an ant. From there, you have to survive against what otherwise would be normal everyday things, trying to avoid a giant rabbit, fighting off an ant, or avoid being stepped on being some examples. Moonray is described as a Souls-like hack-and-slash set on surreal planets, and from the looks of it, they're not far off. The game will hit Steam Early Access very soon, with a planned PS5 release down the road.
Not failure. I imagine how my time destroyed it.
NBA 2K21 made an appearance at the PS5 See the Future event, showcasing the game running on Sony's new hardware. NBA Live 20 was cancelled in order for EA Sports to focus more on the next entry, NBA Live 21, where it will be available on current and next-generation platforms. Not much else is known on how they plan to expand on Live in order to better compete against 2K. NHL 21 will be coming to current-gen and next-generation consoles.
NHL 20 now looks, feels, and plays better up and down the ice.
Pronounced Nth Squared Reborn, this game is an action RPG with realistic swordplay. This game focuses on dismemberment, whether it's the enemy or you. A single attack could mean life or death depending on the blow. System Redux is an updated next-gen version of the original 2007 Observer release. It's a psychological horror game where you hack into people's brain implants and conduct interrogations. Picking up where New and Tasty left off, Abe is on a new adventure. A beacon of hope where an individual fails, Abe will need the support of many to succeed. This is an upcoming third-person RPG out of developer People Can Fly. There's 4 classes to choose from and a skill tree, each with unique abilities. Players can hide behind cover, shoot with an arsenal of weapons, and shield from enemy attacks. It can be played solo or 3-player cooperative. Paradise Lost is a mystery adventure game about a 12-year-old boy who finds a Nazi bunker while roaming a nuclear Polish wasteland. The player will journey through 5 stages of grief, from dialogue, interactions, and the environment. Your choices mold the protagonist.
We pray for those who have survived. May they find the strength to persevere and prove that life can overcome death, even in a barren radioactive desert.
Planet Coaster is a park management simulator that originally released in 2016, now making its way to PlayStation 5. Little is known about Pragmata. The first trailer shows a space-age soldier approaching a little girl in Times Square, and a giant satellite pulls them into the atmosphere. This project comes from Square Enix, and the details are rather light. All we know for sure is that it's a working title, and it's designed exclusively for PlayStation 5 as a timed exclusive. In this game, you take on the role of a hotel manager where your guests are criminals. You'll be tasked with eliminating your guests with a number of creative opportunities. Quantum Error is described as a cosmic horror first-person shooter where you face off against a horde of zombies in an eerie, dark subway station. The next Rainbow Six game is set several years in the future of the Rainbow Six universe, and there's a breed of mutated alien parasites infecting humans, and as a squad of 3 operators, you're tasked with fighting them off. Ratchet and Clank are back, and this time they're jumping through rifts in time. This game really leverages the PS5's fast SSD speeds by having dramatic level changes on the fly.
How bad is it? Well, it is certainly not good. Great!
This game is about a girl trying to find another human in an otherwise lonely and destroyed world that has been taken over by biomachines. It's slower paced, more methodical, and has non-linear exploration. A direct sequel to Resident Evil 7, Ethan Winters will encounter Chris Redfield, which sets off a chain of events in a mysterious village. This time around, there will be a greater focus on combat and exploration compared to 7.
They're coming. Who is?
You're on an alien planet in this third-person shooter where you must survive against all the hostile creatures you encounter. The planet changes with every death you experience.
My only choice is to keep fighting. To keep looking for answers.
Focused in prehistoric times, you'll be building out a village with your friends, harvesting crops, befriending animals, and developing very early primitive technologies. This iconic PlayStation character is back with an all-new 3D adventure. It can be played solo or with friends. Taking place in a distant future, Scarlet Nexus is a world full of deranged mutants called Others. The OSF, or Other Suppression Force, is tasked with fighting them. You are a new recruit to the OSF, and you will use psychokinetic powers to your advantage. If it wasn't obvious, you play as Sherlock Holmes, the famous ace detective. In this open-world detective adventure, you'll be faced with deciding how to approach your mysteries. Deception, violence, and deduction are all at your disposal. Skeletal Avenger is a hack-and-slash action-adventure game where instead of looting from the dead, you actually are looting from the living. Solar Ash is a journey through the Ultra Void, a rift in space that swallows worlds. You'll travel through beautiful vistas, slaying massive monsters and meeting lost souls. Soulsborne is an open-world RPG adventure being described as a mix of Zelda and The Witcher. Based on Norse mythology, you'll fight many different enemies, solve puzzles, and tackle dungeons. Spider-Man is back on PlayStation 5, and this game has a bit of confusion surrounding it. The best way to describe it is that it's like Infamous First Light. It's a standalone game, new story, but smaller overall in scope. Starfield is a brand new IP out of Bethesda Game Studios and has been in active development for years. We're still going to be waiting a while for this space RPG, but this game is expected first before Elder Scrolls 6. In Stray, you'll play a cat walking around a city filled with lonely-looking, sentient robots. This city is your playground, meant to be explored either by sneaking under a car or walking up on the rooftops. Elder Scrolls 6 will come after Bethesda releases Starfield, so we're very far away from this game, but it's been confirmed for release on next-generation consoles. This action-adventure game focuses on Gollum after acquiring the ring, but before the events of the books. The setting begins in a Mordor fortress where Gollum is kept up until you escape and explore more of the game's unknowns. Reportedly, the game focuses more on stealth and dealing with Gollum's alter ego. The Pathless follows a mystery archer and an eagle in a vast forest, looking to dispel the curse of darkness that consumes their world. In Tribes of Midgard, players must resist the oncoming invasion of the giants during Ragnarok. You can play solo or with friends. The sequel to this absolutely epic fishing simulator will be available on PS5. With feedback from the community, tons of improvements and features will be baked right into the sequel. Played mostly in first person, Bloodlines 2 has you starting as a human who is killed, then revived as a thin blood vampire with weak abilities. You have 3 different disciplines to choose from as a path of increasing your power and abilities. With blood necessary for survival, you must tread lightly on how you use your vampire abilities in front of human NPCs. Warframe is a free-to-play third-person action game with role-playing elements. It was present as a PS4 launch title back in 2013 and will continue that trend onto PS5. Watch Dogs Legion takes place in an open-world fictionalized London. Personal liberties are severely limited and all citizens are carefully monitored. Legion has a new take on playable characters where almost anyone can be recruited for the cause, but once a character is lost, they cannot come back. World Rally Championship is back, and this season will feature an enhanced career mode and 3 new rallies to participate in, that being Japan, New Zealand, and Kenya. As of right now, that's everything for PlayStation 5, and this video will be severely outdated almost immediately. There might actually be 1 or 2 games that I already missed, to be honest. It's getting hard to keep track of this, and so it'll be hard to do a follow-up video, but we'll see what happens as we get closer to launch and we have a better idea of all the confirmed games that we can expect so far. But otherwise, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't yet, of course, please subscribe for the best PlayStation news, reviews, and updates that are here on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at Mystic Ryan, and that is it. I will see you all in my next video. You take it easy.